3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Power Sisters, Dr. Anita here. Oh, goodness, if you were part of the morning, we went deep quick. I was kind of surprised how deep we went into our next conversation, or our conversation at that time, and the responses and the replies that are in the group. Thank you very much. We're so excited to be a part of this journey with you. And now I get to introduce you to, and I have to always ask her for forgiveness because I've been saying her first name wrong for the longest time. And I'm like, it's such a beautiful name. I need to, I've been practicing it. So hopefully I'll say it correctly this time. If not, I'm expecting her to correct me so that we can do this. But joining me right now is another one of our Power Circle leaders and success coaches, is Bhavna. Bhavna, help me say your last name. Srivastava?
That's right.
See, I did it. I've been practicing. I've been walking around the house, making sure I say it correctly. And we met through Facebook, as you do with most of your women, but she had a light to her. And that's why actually when you see her on social media or see her within a group, you're going to see after her name, Golden Light. And it's so appropriate for who she is. She emanates this beauty and this divine feminine that comes from her very powerfully. And I know that's something that we need within our world right now, to raise the feminine energy to such a degree that we are healing the heart, mind, souls of women and sisterhood profoundly, so that we can heal ourselves first and foremost, we can expand ourselves, and then we can have that ripple out to our partners, to our husbands, to our children, to our families, to our community, and then to this world. And so even though you're having different conversations, you're going to hear a theme through all of this. And it's not because of just what we're doing here at the summit. It's what we believe and what we sense needs to come forward to begin to bring about a healing at a much deeper, richer, visceral, cellular level that hasn't been really activated. I think there's been a lot of conversations about it. I think we're doing the best that we can with it, but there needs to be a place, particularly for those of us who are extremely strong. We're highly spiritual, we're highly ambitious and driven, and we're the ones that everybody comes to ask for support or guidance or help. We tend to be the ones that give so much to others that we put ourselves last on the list. And so we need to find a place, a sisterhood. And as you heard in our last conversation with Tina, we need to have a circle that allows us to remember the power of what happens when women come together. And so Bhavna and I today, we're going to have that same kind of conversation. And I'm looking forward to what she's going to impart into your life as we talk about why now is such a crucial time. So Bhavna, do me a favor and kind of introduce yourself. Tell all these amazing women who are listening to you. We've got quite a few women who've signed up now, and we'll be sending out the replay so they can watch that. But tell them a little about who you are and how you show up in the world.
All right. Thank you very much, Anita. I am honored to be here and be part of the circle and be a success coach. A little bit about me is and how I got started is, I went through a near-death experience. I'm basically by education an MBA with banking and finance industry, and 2 boys and a husband and a little dog, and I, a very empathic person. And then I started on this journey. I call it by going through a near-death experience and connecting with God, and God saved me from that accident and pulled me through it, and that's when I started to connect, and I started my spiritual journey, and then He asked me if I wanted to be that hand, the way He was for me, for others who were going through, and in their lives, going through trauma. They were feeling hopeless, didn't know what to do, feeling lost and alone. And I said, yes, God. And then I asked Him, I said, but you have to be a part of it. And you're going to bring me your people. And He said, yes, I will.
Well, that's giving me chills.
And that's how it actually all started. And when I became a best-selling author. I became an international speaker. I became a life coach. I became a mentor. I became the Golden Light in 2012, December 21st at 11:30 p.m. And I had 275 people who came that day. I called it like the Golden Light Retreat Day, and it was very beautiful experience. And then I started I started my wellness center with 30 plus practitioners, all different modalities, and we helped so many people over the years. I've done more than 50,000 people over the years, and I continue to do so. And now God asked me to move down to Florida, and I said, okay, God. And so now from Massachusetts, I'm down in Florida, and starting all over again. And then 2020 hit when I started the nonprofit called Saving People to support people in their journeys by feeding the, doctors, nurses when they were working on the COVID floor, and
Yes.
families, especially women single moms who had kids and lost jobs,
Yeah.
feeding them,
Yeah.
you know, and when they had kids, and they were going through school, but they were not working. So I served them by bringing donations of jackets, boots, all those things as well. And then we helped people, a lot of children, women with mental health issues all over the world. So I stepped up and I went global. I think I was doing from March until July. We were doing meditation on Facebook Live every at 12 noon, and we were just chanting Om, which is basically the vibration of the sun's light, and for 20 minutes. And people actually started to see on the trees, on the leaves, on top, written Om. So it was very interesting. They would come back,
Oh my
take
God.
pictures, and send it to me. Bhavna, we see Om written on the leaves on top. And
Okay, let's stop there because there's I'm like, as you're talking, there's a lot of power in your voice. I don't know if you know that. I'm sure you do. There's a lot of power and I don't mean just from a sound perspective. I'm actually talking about a vibration and frequency that's coming out of you because I can feel it. I'm feeling that wave of your voice as you're speaking. You've really honed and mastered the ability to have that come through you with such grace and with ease. And in that is, this is something that I believe is going to happen within the place, is that we start to have women step so much into their power that it becomes easy to live your best life, to make the impact that you're making. Because so many of us have these really big visions, but don't step out to do it because we're so afraid to do it, or we're not confident enough to do it, or we don't know how. But this is going to be the space where there's so many people here, we can get you the resources. And one of the things that I think that you have a gift in is that discerning ability to truly kind of weave between the lines, if you will, and being able to extract the power of someone's truth in showing up in their lives. Would you say I got you right? And I've
yes.
only known it for a short period of time, by the way, but spirit recognizes spirit, right? Heart recognizes heart. So when you're really grounded within yourself, you can sense another spiritual divine light very easily. And if they're supposed to be in alignment, there is a powerful physiological, spiritual, energetic connection, and I'm having that with you. So I'm excited about how women will experience this cocoon of safety that I think you're going to create for a lot of the women. Yeah.
Yes, and my circle is called Awakening and Uniting, Powerful Divine Feminine Circle, and creating global transformation. That's the whole goal for women.
Yeah.
Um, it's basically helping women step up because everybody is evolving and awakening, but basically they're all doing it alone by themselves. So when
Right.
we got the gathering, I loved it because I felt I can unite the woman. It's time for women to come together. I could unite them because they are awakening. They are their divinity inside of them. That's
Yeah.
so a sense of who they are. I would love that light to start to shine. I would
Yes.
love for them to start to come out of it by embracing who they are, by acknowledging their strengths, acknowledging their weaknesses, and working through it. So letting go of all the traumas. I specialize with trauma. So I would be helping women release that, letting go, and stepping up to their next level, empowering them. And then it's important to live and recognize, to be more balanced, right?
Yeah.
That is the importance of, then we will do a lot of self-reflection work, the inner work, which is very important, the inner child you work. I love going through.
Yes.
I would just like, and I do everything at the
Psychologist loves that. I'm like, yes, child work.
and I love doing everything at the soul level. So I go down to the soul and start shifting. And also being the golden light, which means all about unconditional love and peace. So what I do is I shift wherever in your body there's pain. So if you could see it, if there's like a darkness, I would release that, remove that, and then I would fill it up with uh love and light. And
Yes.
so that's how, and that's when the soul goes,
So women can expect
uh,
to have a physical, energetic shift with you in your
yes,
circle.
yes, they will energetically grow, spiritually grow. They would physically start to feel better. All the different things I have done over the years for different women, you know, has been so powerful for them because I've shifted them and also taught them to look at their strengths, you know, to let go of all the pain and the trauma. And
Yeah.
then they have stepped up. So when they didn't have confidence, it's to cultivate that self love, compassion, confidence, to grow in that, to start to believe in themselves. The trust issues come up. So we're going to release that. The any and the interesting part also I love to do is I love to work with nature and the elements. So I
Yeah.
would be bringing in that. I would be doing some moon circles, full
Yeah.
moon circles, because the divine feminine energy is so connected with the full moon. So we would
Yeah.
do that in the circle. And so that'll be like a monthly thing where we would do monthly
So
full
let's
moons.
stop for just a minute so we can kind of, instead of it just being a running conversation, I want to have a back and forth because I think there's some things in there that I want women to capture for you. So there's a few things I want to say. One, why do you think now is the time for women to gather together to reconnect to the divine? Why now? Particularly, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I was, before we even got on this call, I was watching on the news a little bit. I try not to watch the news that much because it can be the energy of it can be so heavy, especially now because there's so much pain and darkness in the world. And there's a lot going on in Israel. And just the more I listened, the more my heart was just so heavy, which just proves to me why it's time for women to come together so we can shift spiritually, energetically, frequently, and vibrationally the power of what's happening in the world. So, and I think with you being international, like you're global, like I am, we need more women to speak to other women of different cultures, different backgrounds, different belief systems. Why is it now so crucial for us to gather together?
It is very important because as we have shifted into the gold, we are transitioning from the Kali Yuga into the golden age. Okay. And
Okay.
as we do that transition, where up until now, the golden age was in the ancient time, that was the first stage, and then we shifted into different ages. But during those different ages, they were all male divine energies and ages, right? Golden age is the feminine energy. And as we are transitioning
Right.
into the feminine energy, every woman is awakening.
Yeah.
And so the important part is to create the balance. And the male are feeling, oh my God. Okay. So they have to come and embrace the woman or the femininity in within themselves, as well as recognize the feminine partner in their life,
Right.
right? And also within themselves. So the emotions, everything, all that will come up. So there's before everything starts to get better, there has to be a chaos
Ooh.
because it's the churning process. So whatever we are going
Yeah.
through right now, it's that churning process. The moment the male starts to acknowledge and there's a equality, and then they start to unite, everything's going to be okay.
Let's sit with this because you're the first one to say that in order for balance or harmony, because I'm not a balance word person, I usually prefer harmony, but they mean in some ways, in a lot of ways, the same thing. In order for harmony and balance to be reestablished and grounded, um, there has to be an upset.
There
And
has to
I'm
be.
like, no one has said that, but you're absolutely right. What we're going through right now, looming, there's bits and pieces of conversations of, hey, there's a potential of a World War III. And it's what you just said. There's an upset coming in. And wonder part of it is because, and I would love to hear how you feel about this. There's a lot of conversation about the divine feminine, but are we as women really operating at that level? It's taken me years to really understand it, to be honest with
Right.
you.
And the part where we are having, and some of the women are having trouble, is because we've been suppressed, because when we were living in the male ages, women had been suppressed for so long.
Yeah,
And now the awakening is happening. So women are standing up and acknowledging their truth, and they are saying no. They've started to
yeah,
say no, which
yeah,
has not happened in the past. So
right,
some of the I won't call just male, but the male energetic, when there's, whether it's a woman or a male, but
right.
when people are in more in the male energy, they are feeling threatened. And so they're not able to. But when women step up now, okay, we can actually stop all of this.
Yeah,
So the world will shift more into peace, because woman, divine feminine is nothing but more emotions, because women are all about emotions. Male are less of that. They don't show their emotions.
yeah,
Very few. I mean, the exceptions are always there, right? They hold it. But women are all about emotion. They are all about outbursts. They're all about love, all of that. But this is what we have to step into. We have to step into love, but we have to start with ourselves. Self-care, self-love, very much important, because that's where you can start to love others. You can start to unite with others, because when you love yourself, you can love others too.
absolutely. I love this conversation because we can start deep into the psychology of all this stuff because I have some very psychological, spiritual, mindset thoughts about the masculine energy. And, there was as I said earlier before, I have a background as a marriage family therapist, and there was 2 years of my life where men tend to not go to therapy, obviously, as you can all most imagine. But God was very strategic in giving me 2 years where my practice was fully male. And even my supervisor was like, how'd you do that? And I'm like, I have no clue how that happened. But I had 2 years where I had maybe one woman and 5 men, compared to normally it would be the opposite. I'd have 5 women and maybe one man. And it was, those 2 years were the most significant years of my practice because it helped me see what's really happening to men when you create a safe environment for them to lay down the masculine, and they want to. But we as women, because we're not in our feminine, and honestly, I think that's where I started to understand my feminine, because I felt like I had to be more feminine in the presence of these really strong masculine. I had a lot of army men, I had a lot of corporate men, and they would come in gruff and angry. And of course, all of them were like 6'2", 5", so they're much big. I'm tall myself, right? But it was the best experience of my life because when I was able to be in my feminine, I was able to get them to surrender to the point that they can deal with those emotions. And I start to see, I'm like, they're more hurt than we understand or are willing to allow them to experience. But the moment you allow them to experience that, because you're in your feminine safe enough to allow them to do it, the protection, the fierceness, and these men kept my practice full. They kept my practice full. This is one of the reasons behind the scenes. I don't know if a lot of you know this. We are launching as a part of a division of the Alliance called the Leading Man Institute. And it's all about men. We've got 7 men who are going to be coaches and leaders, kind of like what we're doing here for the women at the place. We're doing the exact same thing for the men. We're going to do a summit for them. I'm going to interview all of them. I'll be the only woman in that whole entire summit. because they recognize if there's ever a time for men to hear, it's time to allow our feminine to show up. Now is
Mhm.
the time to do it. And I
Yes.
love that. I
Yes,
love that.
it's very important in to support and uplift one another.
Yes.
It's not a race of putting each other down, but
Right.
it's time to work together and embrace that, embrace each other's gifts and qualities. And equality is very important, equality between male and female,
Yeah.
and walking together, holding hands together, not separately, and not putting each other down. That's very much important at this time. And being collective, like collaborating in things,
Yes.
different things, and uniting. And but for a woman also to come together to unite, because here everybody is
Super.
feeling that way, that oh my god, this is happening in my life and this is happening in my life. But if we all come and support each other,
Yes.
like
Hmm.
okay, I'm here for you, what is it you would like, for we've been alone and we've been separated by and we've hurt each other for so long. So it's time right now. So I love what you're creating, the gathering is, hey, let's come together, be one collective,
I
unify.
think we're hungry for connection, but because of what happened through the pandemic, and maybe because of the way we've also been raised, it's hard to be really. Tina said in her interview, the goal of the place is to witness vulnerability. What does it really mean for us to truly be vulnerable with one another, that we are seen, heard, valued, and celebrated? That's like our tagline for the Alliance. And when we come together to have that kind of experience, a woman blossoms, a woman flourishes. When she really has an environment that says, I see all of who you are, queen. And I'm going to hold you accountable to the areas where you may still be a little bit, I don't like the word weak, but I'll say needing support to mature. You're maybe not as strong or as grounded as you should be. We're going to lovingly hold you accountable to that and help you make a powerful decision to step into your next level of success. And having a safe place, I can't iterate that enough. The goal of the place is to make sure it's safe enough for you to unveil, unmask, let down your hair, have that ugly cry if you need to have it, and know that you've got sisters who will sit there in the circle with you and see you and hear you and feel you. What I notice within our team, when women are sharing their own stories, I see a lot of hand on heart. Like we've all kind of come to this place like, ooh, I feel that. Ooh, I'm with you in that. Ooh, I stand with you and I love you and I support you in that. And that's how our healing and transformation begins. What do you think will be the most powerful experience a woman will have with you in the place? What's that one thing that you're like, I'm going to guarantee you this is what's going to happen if you stay with me in my group?
So the most important part I would like is to letting go of traumas, connecting themselves with their soul, who they are at that core level, um, and just acknowledging their and unlocking their light,
Yeah.
who they are.
Yeah.
So I would take them through that journey to embrace themselves, to fall in love with themselves. Then, as a result, to fall in, they will create that ripple effect of
Yes.
that into their families, into with their friends, colleagues, everybody they connect with. That when you understand yourself at the core level, and when your light starts to shine brighter,
Yeah.
things start to shift. So
Yeah.
if we can have all the women start to shine their lights, one tiny light,
And
and then
illuminate a
10,
whole room.
yes, and then 10 women with their lights on is going to be a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm looking to create those breakthroughs where they would go, oh my God, I've been waiting for this. Oh my God, I
Yes.
my
Yes.
life. Oh
Yes.
my God, I can do this. Oh my God, yes, I
Yes.
can,
Yes.
So that feeling of, oh my God,
Yes.
yes, yes. yes. I love where they can go and say, yes, I can do this. The
And,
confidence,
and you can
that
tell when
love,
someone's got it. That light turns on in their eyes, and
exactly.
you can
And the
see it
sparkle
in
in
their
their
face.
eyes, it's
Right.
like the
Ting.
twinkle.
Yes, that little ting. The little twinkle
And
shows up.
yes, and appreciating each other, celebrating the diverseness,
Yeah.
and their backgrounds where they come from. Like this, it's like just knowing we are all there for each other and
I love it.
embracing that,
I
you
love
know,
it.
and without judgment, because I'm all about love. So everything I do is, I keep love at the core of everything, you know, the
Well,
golden
the
line
place is
is all about
judgment free. That's
yes.
you
So
know,
it's judgment free, releasing all of that and helping them to accept love in their life fully within themselves, and then creating ripples of that, with
I
their light turned on.
I one of the things that we require from myself being the founder and CEO down to every leader within our community is that there is, even when there's difficult challenges or upsets or systems don't work, the goal is to breathe first and foremost, take a step back. What I'm learning to do is going, okay, God, how do we solve this through your light instead of through my own brain, my intellectual brain that's, you've made me very powerful and very strong, and I can process things very quickly, but I don't have to process it through my masculine side. Let's process it through my feminine side, especially with women. How do we move into another level? And then the healing and the transformation. Sometimes it's just about just letting it be what it is and it works. So like there was some system stuff that you can imagine putting on a summit, some system stuff working. I'm like, it's okay at this point. I don't care. At this point, all I care about is the rich conversations that I know I'm going to have with each and every one of these women, because what we're doing at the place is creating your place to be seen, heard, celebrated, valued, and celebrated. We're creating a place where you're safe, where you can go through your own ascension or death and dying process. Let me just be more specific. The death of the old way of thinking, of believing, of acting, of living, and then rising like a phoenix, shedding off all the heaviness of the past, of the darkness, of the hurt, of the trauma,
Or
and then
rebirthing,
rebirthing. Ooh, I like that.
rebirthing into being
Rebirthing into
the
a new
phoenix and the
being.
divine feminine.
Yes, yes. And having, someone like Bhavna guiding you through this process, having a midwife, that's what I said earlier, because that's what it feels like, is having someone come alongside you and say, push, and I got you. Or stay here, just be still for a minute and breathe. Or honey, it's time for you to let that go. And how can I help you let that go? I'm going to hold you accountable in letting that go. And I require that even within our own team. Like, how often are we trying to meet? Once the summit's done, then the goal is I want us to meet as regularly as possible so that we are connected as women first and foremost, and then we're connected as a team. And so I know the power of creating a culture that is the non-negotiable. So you, as a woman listening to this conversation, have an opportunity to say, I finally am coming home. That's what
That,
the place is all about.
I love that.
Coming home to my real sisters, because right now you're already feeling this divine hit. You're already feeling your instincts and your gut, if you will. Your body is responding to, I need to be around these kind of women. I need to not only be in their presence. We're going to be doing some amazing things in 2024. We're going to, I particularly am focused on helping every single member become as wealthy as possible. And so we're building that into the system so that there are multiple opportunities that you get to evaluate. And then you have all of these power success coaches, you have all of these power circle leaders who are in their own circle are actually doing things and sharing things and offering opportunities for you to be in their light, in their energy. And this is why I kept bringing up what I'm experiencing with Bhavna, because that's what you're going to experience. Like if you're in a presence and I'm feeling so much tingling go through you right now as you're speaking, as you're sharing your story, my whole body is like vibrating and it's energetic. So that means when you're in her presence, and if you allow yourself to have that experience, you're going to have that just as well.
Yes.
Bhavna, Tell me, what do you think is the number one, or I don't, maybe I don't want to put a number on it, but with all the women that you work with around the world, the thousands of women that you work with regularly, you and I are
Yes.
kind of busy, and I know yours is pretty daily as much as mine is. What's the top challenge that you see women dealing with that you hope to address outside of it being trauma, outside of it being a confidence level, and outside of it being a divine feminine level? Is there something that you're beginning to see that's coming up a lot that you think we at the place need to address that you'll be focusing on?
Yes. I work with All Souls, and
Oh, okay.
okay, and I'm helping women who are already teachers and masters, and to step up to their next level, who in their heart know I'm here for something big, you know. And
Yes.
when they know that, and they are either playing small or they're thinking of what is my next, where do
Yes.
I go? Or
Yes.
even if they're not doing anything, and they might just be like, but I'm not doing anything, I'm just working, but they know they're here to do something more. And
Yes.
then they have that feeling of sadness inside of them, or they feel lost,
Or
that's who I.
unfulfillment.
Yes. They're like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Or if they're already doing it, like there's restlessness, what
Yes.
else?
Yes.
Like, you know, that's when they want to be part of this, because I'm going to take them, or they feel stuck if they're
Yes.
stuck in their life. So I can help them shift them into their next. I can help them connect them to their soul level, who they are. I can help them to see their light. I can help them in their soul's purpose. And I have my signature programs where I teach you in what is it, who you are, what you are here to do, and how we can shift that and create a ripple effect of that, and how we can help you step up more into who you are, to the core of you. What is your legacy you want to leave behind? As women coming together, who else can you connect with to and
Mm-hmm.
collaborate with? And how
Mm-hmm.
can you create the sacred space? How can you make this world a more sacred and beautiful place for us?
I can't tell you how much I am so grateful that you brought that forward and how excited I am about that, because I actually believe more women are seeking a way to show up more authentically and powerfully for
Yes.
their purpose. But because they've gotten conditioned, or life circumstances have put them in a position where they just had to survive, they've had to do what they need to do. And in doing so, to some degree, they consciously or unconsciously have not sabotage, well, sabotage, but what I really want to say is abandoned that bigger dream, goals, and desires. So they're not fulfilled. I think more women are not fulfilled and not satisfied, and they are more empty than they want to let on. And when we're feeling that at that soul level, that emptiness you just talked about, we go back to dysfunctional behaviors. So we just keep doing what we've been doing for so long because it's easier to do that than to actually deal with our heart and our soul and actually start going into our next level. So I love that you're going to be bringing that forward.
Yes. And the woman also, one more thing is, the woman who I would be working will be the givers, and now their cup
Yeah.
is empty. And so I'm going to be
Yes.
refilling them, renewing them,
Yes.
re-energizing them. So all the good re's, I'm
Yes.
going to be bringing, reawakening them to their
Yes.
potential,
Yes.
and
Yes.
unlocking that. It's like, amazing, you are amazing, just. But I'm going to be doing all of this with coaching, mentoring, and activations, initiations. I'm going to be doing some soul codes and abundance codes, bringing in love energy, true love energies, shifting things at bigger level, taking permissions and working on their DNAs as well, to release pain and trauma and to receive happiness. And it's okay to step up into their happiness. It's okay to step up and be joyful, and dance and sing and be okay with that. And it's okay to be happy and not take pain. It's okay
Okay
to
to
say
be
yes.
happy. It's okay to be happy. I love that. what Bhavna is telling you in some ways, because they haven't really heard about the place yet. That's a conversation we're going to have a little bit later on today, and I'll go into more depth tomorrow, so that all of you ladies who are part of this and those of you who are watching by replay can decide, like, what's the place? I just thought it was a gathering, like it's just a summit. No, it's an actual physical place. Well, it's a digital physical place. It has some physical components to it where we are really coming together, and you're going to have so many different experiences that almost every single day there will be something that you will be able to do or learn or receive or experience that is literally affecting your whole entire body, soul, and spirit, because that's the entire focus. Is we want to help you come to a high vibe community, very, very highly spiritual, very highly visionary, discerning, and ambitious group of leaders who are creating a space, who are creating the place for you to say, okay, I can leave my work outside, I can leave my roles outside, whatever role that I play in corporate, in life, in my business, I can just let it stay out the door, come inside, strip naked, if you will, and allow myself to receive, so that I'm filled up, exactly what Bhavna just said, so that when I leave, I can give from my overflow. I can give from my overflow. Again, I wanted to remind everybody that after every single interview, there's an opportunity, probably just popped up just now below, for you to connect and have a meet and greet with each and every one of our speakers today, as well as tomorrow, so that you can get a chance just to know them, just to be in their presence and pay attention to your own energy, because you can join once you become a member of the place. You get a chance to be a part of every single circle. There's some that you're going to probably participate in a little bit more than others, just because of what they're teaching and how they're showing up. And this gives you a chance to meet them and connect heart to heart, soul to soul, mind to mind, and hear even more of who they are and what they believe in, and maybe even just have that energetic shift. Now, just like I just said at the very beginning, as Bhavna has been talking this whole entire time, I've been going through this energetic vibrational shift with her, because she's in that, she's owned that. And when you're right, if you're looking for it, if you're wanting to experience that, those type of women going, oh, I could feel this viscerally, you know, those little chills that women get, that's it.
How about I make them feel my golden light?
Her goal, well, I think you're already doing it, they're feeling it through here. And then this is why I wanted to do this particular, because typically I've done multiple summits, and every summit I've typically done, I've done some that are live, like this one. I've done a lot of them because it's a lot easier, especially if you have a lot of speakers. It's easier to do them pre-recorded than live. But this one, it felt like she kept telling me, I need this to be live, because I want you to hear the voice, the heart, connect to the essence, the energy, the frequency of every one of our team members, so that in that you experience, as much as those of you who are going to watch the replay, it's fantastic, but there's nothing like being here live, because you feel the energy of it. And this is why the place will have a combination of all of this operating for your good. And so this is going to be phenomenal. So with that being said, the link to connect to Bhavna is now up. It's in our group. We want you to be there. Click on that Zoom link. She's going to be there as soon as we finish this conversation. So Bhavna, is there anything that you want to close our time together with? Is there something on your heart, your soul, your spirit that you feel led to say to everyone that's here and watching?
Yes, I always tell people, in vulnerability lies your strength.
Ooh, in vulnerability lies your strength. Here's an opportunity to be vulnerable. That word keeps coming up. You seeing a theme, everybody? Second time that word's come up. I think God's trying to tell us something. Let's be vulnerable together.
And love is the strongest thing ever.
Love is the
It
strongest thing
never,
ever.
it never hurts.
It never
It
hurts.
does. People hurt, but love doesn't hurt.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I love it. All right, everybody. Thank you, Bhavna, for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know everyone's going to experience something amazing with you in your meet and greet that's taking place as soon as we finish this call. And hey, everybody, I will be talking to Sharon Ottness at 2:00. See you then, right here live, with so much love for each and every one of you. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.